let's go into some 5G.
5G kills humans.
5G kills humans. CNBC again. Headline here. After years of 5G hype and investment, Wednesday's network launch makes it real. It's here, Basil. 5G officially. Verizon and AT&T turned on a major new part of their 5G network Wednesday. That's today. The culmination of a years-long process that saw both carriers invest billions in spectrum and equipment to upgrade their networks. The network that lit up on Wednesday are using wavelengths called C-band to cover a large part of the country with wireless services that should be noticeably faster than current 4G services. Verizon says 90 million people will get access to the new 5G services this month in major cities, including New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. AT&T said it plans to cover as many as 75 million people with its C-band network by the end of the year. The rollout brings to fruition major 5G investments from both carriers. Verizon spent $45.5 billion in a government auction last year to secure the rights to the wavelengths it's using for its network. AT&T spent more than $23 billion. The carriers have since spent additional billions to actually build the networks and install equipment on cell towers. Quote, we've invested just to get the spectrum some $40 odd billion. And then we've also had to kick money into the kitty to help clear the spectrum. So, we're looking upward of $53 billion. Verizon CTO Kyle Malady told CNBC. Verizon will spend $10 billion over the next 3 years to continue building its network, it said. The Goldilocks band, some forms of 5G were already available to wireless subscribers, blah, blah, blah. We know about some of that. But yeah, the C-band network is higher in frequency, it appears. The wavelengths are between 3.7 and 3.98 gigahertz that are capable of both traveling long distances and carrying enough data to deliver faster internet connection. The unique properties of these wavelengths led to their substantial price at auction, and they were often called the Goldilocks band in the industry because they are perfectly suited for 5G services. Quote, it's excellent right down the middle. You have a great amount of bandwidth. It propagates well, and it goes through buildings. It goes through buildings, Malady said. Quote, I give credit to the U.S. government. They put a lot of spectrum up for auction. This rarely comes along, and that's why we were so aggressive in the auction to get this. The C-band networks were supposed to be turned on in December, but the rollout was delayed twice because of Federal Aviation Administration concerns that their wavelengths could interfere with tools pilots use to land safely. And that brings me to the second part of this story here, which is Newsweek, mirrored on MSN. What are the issues with the 5G rollout that airlines are concerned about? There's a few other outlets talking about how airlines canceled or suspended flights because of this rollout.
The airlines are scared of this, man.
Crazy.
We haven't been talking about it. We are kind of waiting for it to evolve a little bit, but this started a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where something like only 40% of planes are equipped to fly if 5G is used widely. And it's like you could take out, with all the problems that the airlines have been having, only 40% of the planes are equipped to exist in a 5G world. Not just exist, not just thrive. They can't fly if 5G is being
ridiculous.
Used.
Yeah. Why are airlines worried? The worry is that the airplanes' radio altimeters will be disrupted by 5G frequencies. Am I saying that right? Altimeters. I feel, okay. Altimeters are important devices for aircraft, giving readings of the height above the ground during a flight's approach. This is an especially important measurement during poor visibility and for aircraft flying at low altitudes. Officials are concerned that 5G with too close of proximity could affect altimeters' range. altimeters use a range of 4.2 to 4.4 gigahertz, and if that's interrupted, the instruments' measurements could be affected. Monday's letter from the major airlines warned, quote, "This means that on a day like yesterday, more than 1,100 flights and 100,000 passengers would be subjected to cancellations, diversions, or delays."
Wow.
Who's in charge of the frequencies? It's the U.S. and Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, is in charge of the large radio spectrum. The agency allowed significant amounts of the spectrum for 5G use in 2016. And I think a lot of people in our community were reporting on that back in 2016. Wasn't there, now that I think about it, I can't remember who it was. Was it French president or the WHO president or somebody years ago? I think they might have, maybe it was part of the FCC. Like the former commissioner or something came out and said, like, we're going full on 5G. There's nothing stopping us. It was like a really intense.
No, this was during the big 5G push of 2020, I believe.
Was it 20? I think it was before that. It was during Trump, because I remember the guy, I reported on this on Facelikethesun.
Well, 2020 was Trump.
You're right. But I think it was before that, because I remember publishing on Facelikethesun, a guy, he had like the 5G box. He was presenting it to Trump, and Trump was all about it, all about helping build the infrastructure and stuff. So,
yeah. I remember talking about that on our new format. So I believe this was in 2020, early 2020, something like that.
Could have been. And just as a tie-in here, since this is AT&T and Verizon, I do have the CEO of Verizon, Chairman CEO, Hans Vestberg, talking at Davos about communication and equity.
We need to use the 21st century's infrastructure, which is mobility, broadband, and cloud services, in order to get it accessible, affordable, and have the right application and scalability. That's why we, together with the World Economic Forum, decided in the beginning of last year to form the Edison Alliance. The Edison Alliance is a group of some 45 multidisciplined people, champions we call them, from private, public, education, from academia. And what we decided was we wanted to change the life of 1 billion people by having affordable, accessible digital inclusion, focusing on education, healthcare, and financial inclusion. Firstly, we have had great progress so far with all the people coming together from all the academia, public and private, to find these solutions. But once again, for me, this is a moment in time where this infrastructure is so crucial. It's not a good to have to be connected. It's actually a human right.
It's a human right to be connected on the internet.
So they're making 5G a human rights issue.
Well, not specifically 5G. This is well, you're right. Indirectly, yes.
I think so. That would be part of the sales pitch. If you have your CanaryCry bingo card ready here, let's see here on the G Beauty card. Monty making an appearance on the show. Monty 4 has invaded the show as we speak. And so you can cross that off on your 2022 bingo card.
We should have a way to do this on the website.
Second row, sixth column.
I was going to say, we need to have a way to keep updated on.
Somebody could like code a little thing, but yeah, we can do it. If we do our own photoshopping and just upload the image.
Yeah. So there you go. That's kind of the 5G thing. And yeah, I still get people sending me articles, from the fringes or blogs about 5G and how the virus was spread through 5G.
Yeah, it's gonna activate the nanobots and do the whole thing.
Yeah, and so we'll see how all that works. Eventually, I think with a lot of those sorts of theories is that, of course, the elite that's what they would like. They would like to be able to control every molecule in the universe. And that to get there is some kind of molecular control through perhaps an internet connection. But the other thing to consider is that how is Neuralink and OneWeb, which is another company trying to get satellites to get connectivity everywhere, do Do you think they've already, they're ahead of the curve in terms of 5G? Are they able to compete, or is it a whole different network?
Yeah, they can't use 5G because 5G is a short range
bandwidth. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a short range wave. So you need a tower like, I forget what the exact number is. It's something like every 150 feet or something.
Right. That's why the 5G has those pods instead of a big old, just one giant tower.
So you put these little nodes, you just litter them across a city or something, where that wouldn't work with a satellite, as far as I know. But I'm no evil genius like Elon.
What happened to our chat? Oh, there it is. Okay. There you go. That's all we had for this segment, Basil. It's pretty short and sweet.
Yeah, pretty short and sweet. Again, we have got to starting the show earlier. These late shows are really difficult because then it puts pressure to keep the show short. So that's why our second segment is a little short here. I was reading this other article that I have pulled up here from thepointsguy.com, let's see here. What is this called? What you need to know about 5G interfering with aircraft. And I was trying to see if there's anything else besides just the altimeter reading and things like that. But yeah, more or less, he says 5G came out today, everybody would crash and die. So
great.
My question is, why have they not been working on this for years?
This is the Y2K thing. We lived through Y2K. I don't know, but you probably young, but you remember Y2K, right?
I remember very well Y2K.
It's going to be the new year, the new millennium. All the computers are going to crash. Airplanes are going to fall out of the sky. It's one big apocalypse. It kind of feels like that with the 5G rollout. And yeah, why weren't they being ready? Why weren't they ready? Or
they've been talking about, like you said, with the guy, I forget who it was too, who came out and said, we don't care what you say. We don't care who you are. Yeah. We don't care about anything. Man, we are rolling out 5G and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And you're going to like it. It's good for you. Stop complaining. And why have the airlines not been figuring it out? His name's Tom Wheeler.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the clip here. I don't know if let's see if this.
Well, here's an interesting little angle as well, which is, hey, 5G or planes, you choose. You want 5G or you want 60% less aircraft? Do you want to travel 60% less? Well, less planes mean less carbon emissions, which means we save the world. More internet means a faster connection with the metaverse. You don't need to travel. Stay in your pod. Don't go on vacation. Get your 5G, Oculus attachment. And there you go. Now it's one step closer to the, getting trapped in the cage. Pods, metaverse pods and feeding tubes.
So this Tom Wheeler clip from the FCC about 5G is from June 20th, 2016.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I was way off.
That are both a limitation and a strength. They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines.
I remember some of this. I'm trying to find
requiring massive deployment of small cells. I'm confident that the actions will lead to a cornucopia of unanticipated, innovative uses and will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important.
Oh, whoa.
Because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority. And stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future has a way of inventing itself. Turning innovators loose is far preferable to expecting committees and regulators to define the future.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go.
That's intense.
Very intense.
Stay out of the way.
Stay out of I remember that. He said, stay out of the way of technology. You can't stop this technology from developing. Yeah. Interesting how they don't allow that with certain parts of medicine or technology development, but when it comes to 5G, get out of the way.
They absolutely do. It's the same principle with the mRNA vaccines.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Why should we spend years studying the effects of 5G? Why should we spend years studying the effects of mRNA vaccines? Let's just rush it. We'll get it out there. And again, with the same reasoning. Billions of dollars of economic activity. What's been the justification for the rush of the vaccines? Billions of dollars of economic activity, not just getting the economy running again, but the $33 billion in excess profits by Pfizer last year. What was it? $11 billion for the other company. It's the same thing. Who cares what happens? Who cares how it affects people? It's economic process, and do not stand in the way, because we know what happens when you stand in the way of the lizard people. So yeah, I think a mix between the economics of it and the social engineering of it and the climate changiness of it and the metaverse pods. I think they're gonna keep the rollout. I still don't know why the aircraft industry did not respond faster. If this is what was being said in 2016, seems a little bit to be on them, but maybe there's some secret plan there too. Who knows?
It's all Trump's fault.
Like it is actually, which is hilarious.
Ironically,
he was a huge 5G guy.
He was. He
was
approved a bunch of stuff.
He was approving all sorts of stuff. He deregulated all sorts of stuff, all to open up the way for 5G, which is just so now, looking at the Trump scorecard, you've got 5G and you've got mRNA vaccine technology coming out. More or less unregulated as well.
This is the guy that's going to drain the deep state swamp.
He's draining the swamp.
Is draining with 5G and vaccines.
Well, the thing with Trump is he's a businessman. Yeah. That's his thing. He's a businessman, not a politician, and that's why people like him. But if you're going to like him, you got to like his business instincts, his killer business instincts on 5G and vaccines.
Oh, great.